Hello students, in today's video we are going to study classes and functions. In previous video we have already studied what are classes and objects. Classes are blueprint which includes features, attributes and methods which acts on those attributes, and objects are instances of those class, right? In previous classes we have already studied that whenever you are creating a class means you are creating a new data type, right? In this chapter classes and functions, actually we are studying that how function takes class objects as an argument and how it modify or perform actions on those objects. Okay, so in this we are going to take a class called time, class time, which represents hour, minute and second. Okay, here we have already created one class called class time, and we had just a comment, multi-line comment that represent the time of the day attribute, hour, minute and second. See, till now in the class we have not created any variables, attributes or any methods. See, we have this chapter classes and function, next chapter is classes and methods. Okay, so classes and functions, functions which are declared, methods which are declared outside the classes. Okay, and it becomes method when it is declared under a class. Okay, so terminology is different in Python. In Python, whenever a function is declared inside a class it becomes method. Okay, now in this we have a class called class time. Okay, and we are creating an object called time of class time where t is capital, and we are creating three attributes for that object, and those are hour, minute and second. Here hour is initialized to 11 and minute is initialized to 59 and seconds are initialized to 30. Okay, so this is what you are getting in your textbook, the first thing. After that there is an exercise. The question is, as an exercise, write a function called print time. You need to write a function called print time that takes time object as an argument and prints it. See, it should take this time object as an argument, which this print function should take this time object as a argument, or any object which is of type class time. Okay, then what it need to do, it need to print hour, minutes and second in the form of hour colon minute colon second. Okay, hint, you need to use format sequence percentage dot, that is decimal point, to d, means up to 2 decimal points. Prints an integer because it is d, right? It's d, that's why prints an integer using 2-digit numbers, if you are just giving here just 9, not 59, then what it will do is it will include a 0, so including a leading 0 if necessary. Okay, so I have already written that function here. See, I'm defining a function called print time which takes time object as a argument, then it prints. Okay, let me demonstrate you how it will work. Okay, see, we'll create a new file. In that we need to create a class. Okay, we have created class, then these attributes. Okay, we have created a class. Okay, and here class, and these are the attributes. Okay, when you are having a print function that I have already written here. Okay, say print function here t is not a time object, time is a time object. Okay, so I will take here time. So okay, t, it is declaration, right? So you need to call this print time. So I'm calling print time, print underscore time with what object? With time object, time. See, already I have created this object, time object here, right? Time object here, this object I am passing to this print time function. Okay, we'll see what time. But here if you pass this time object to this function, okay, t will be object will be passed over here, but you will get an error here because we don't have an attribute called h, m and s. So what you need to be very careful. The attribute that you have declared is hour, minute and second. Okay, now this time object will be passed here, and that time object address will call hour, minute and seconds, and it is going to display in this format. Okay, let me run this. See, 11:59:30, right? 11:59:30. Now see, after that this exercise we have completed. Now pure functions. Here you will see that there are two kinds of functions, pure functions and modifier functions. First we study about pure functions. What are these pure functions? We have a method called, a function called, not a method, a function called add underscore time, which takes two time objects, that is time 1 and time 2, two time objects, and what it is doing is it is creating one object called sum, which is of type class called time, right? Then for that object the hour will be the sum of these two time objects, and the minutes will be the sum of these two objects, and the second will be sum of these two objects. And this function is pure function. Why? Because this function has not modified the original objects. Instead of that, it has created a new object. See, a function creates a new object, initialize its attributes and returns a reference to the new object. This is called pure function. See, the objects taking as an argument, it will not modify those objects. It will just use those objects and it will create a new object and it will return that object. Okay, that's why add underscore time is a pure function. Okay, now with this code, till now whatever the code that we had, a class with a with this comment line and these attributes, and we had two different objects, t1 and t2. Let's go to textbook. In your textbook, he has declared two variables. See, start is equal to time. Start is equal to time. It's a one time object, and hour is 9, minutes is 45, second is 0. Then again another object he is creating, that is duration, and it has hour 1, minutes 35 and second 0. See, in this, if you add these two time objects, start plus duration, if you pass this start and duration as an argument to this function, start here and duration here, then sum of hours will be, see, hours 9 plus 1, it will be 10. Minutes will be 45 plus 35, how much? 80, right? Actually in minutes we don't have any 80, right? We don't have any 80. See, you have passed done is equal to done. This add method is returning something, right? So add method is returning something. Add is returning the new object and it need to be stored. So that's why you are storing into done, which is of type again time, Okay, now it is returned. So when you are trying to print this done, what happens is you are getting 10, 80 and 00. 80 doesn't make any sense because this minutes are in the form of base 60, right? So 80 doesn't make any sense. So the result might not be what you are hoping for. The problem is that this function does not deal with the case where the number of seconds or minutes adds up to the more than 60. So what we need to do, so you need to improve these methods, improve this add time method. Okay, just before we go for that improving that add time method, we have one exercise called write a boolean function called is after that takes two time object t1 and t2. Okay, like this add time, it takes two objects, same. Another method you need to create is after, that takes t1 and t2, both are object of time class. Now return true if t1 follows t2 chronologically and false otherwise. Challenge, don't use if statement. Chronologically means what? Suppose the time is 11:31:29, then next 11:32:50. So 11:32:50 follows 11:31:29, right? So at that time it will return true. If it is not, if it is less than that, then it will return false. I have a code already here. See, is after two time objects you are passing, and t1 dot hour you are comparing. See, return and whatever the attributes that you are having now, you are making those attributes in the form of tuple. Then this tuple of t1 object, see, it's a tuple, right? See, parenthesis and separated by these objects, these attributes are separated by comma. So this tuple is compared to now object t2, right? If it is greater than, if t1 is greater than, if t1 follows t2, at that time it will return true, otherwise false. See, now in time, this time object, it has 11:59:30, and time to object has 11:59:35. So here what will be the result, true or false? See, let me run this. Actually the answer will be false. See how? We'll see it. Okay, this is our file. Okay, let me paste here first. Okay, then run. Why answer is false? Because you are passing time as a first argument, and it has 11:59:30, and time 2 as a second argument, and it has 11:59:35. Actually time 2 is following time 1. Then you are comparing. See, this time will be passed here, and time 1 dot hour, you are comparing 11:59:30 is greater than 11:59:35. No, it is not greater than that. That's why it returns false. And in tuple, you know that first it will compare the first element with this element. If both are same, it will go for next element. If both are same again, it will go for next element. Here 30 is less than 35, that's why it returns false. If you just have exchanged the value, see, time 2, then here you have just time, then it will return, it should return true. See, it is returning true because you are comparing now time 2 with time, that's why. Okay, after this exercise, this code that we have we have already seen 156 and 157. See, 156 that you have already seen. Okay, then 157, the code to modify this add time function. What actually here the problem that you are facing is, if minutes crosses 60, if seconds crosses 60, what we need to do, we need to add, if minutes crosses 60, we need to add 1 to this hour, right? And if seconds crosses 60, we need to add 1 to this minutes. So see how this add time method was modified by author. See, add time, it takes two time object, then it creates a new object, sum, then it add 2 times hours, minutes and seconds. Then it will take that after addition of our minutes, after addition of minutes or seconds, not hours. Okay, after addition of minutes and seconds. See, seconds, if it is greater than or equal to 60, because we cannot display 11:59:60, right? So if it is greater than or equal to 60, sum dot second, whatever the second value was, subtract 60 seconds from that and add 1 to the minute, right? Same case with minutes. If it is greater than or equal to 60, subtract 60 from minutes and add 1 to the hour. Now but this function has a problem. This function has a problem, uh, error actually. What will see it? Okay, what error that will see it in upcoming slides. Okay, so up to now you have understood, right? So we'll see modifier functions now. Modifier functions. See, in this modifier functions, sometimes it is useful for a function to modify the objects it gets as parameter. That in that case, the changes are visible to the caller function. Caller. The functions that work in this way is called modifier function. In pure function, what we have studied that it takes objects as an argument and it will not modify those objects. Instead of that, it will create a new object, right? So that is called pure function. But in modifier function, it will takes objects as an argument. It will modify those objects and it will reflect in entire program. That's why it is called modifier function. So what we are doing here, same add time, new method called increment, which increments the time by some seconds, okay. It takes a time object, and it adds some seconds to second attribute. Okay, if once you have added, if it is greater than or equal to 60, then what you are doing is you are subtracting 60 from the current seconds, then you are adding 1 to the minute. The same case with minutes. Okay, what is the difference between this increment method and this add method? In add method, it is creating entirely new object, but in increment method, it is not creating any new object. It is modifying the current object, and it will reflect it in entire program. Okay, now see, this increment method is called modifier method because it takes time object of a time class, and it modifies it and it reflects in a class. But add time takes two time objects, but it doesn't modify it. Instead of that, it creates a new object and it returns the new object, and these two objects are remain intact. Okay, now we'll see as an exercise, write a correct version of increment that doesn't contain any loop. Okay, that doesn't contain any loops. Okay, so here I have told you about that. In this method as well as in this method, we have a error. What error actually? See, these are two different methods. One is pure and another one is modified. I am going to use modified version of this method. Okay, modified method for my program. What we'll do is see, we'll take a time class, okay, then we'll declare a print time method, which is already you have seen in the previous slides. Okay, here I need to have minute and second. Okay, now okay, I am taking that increment method. Okay, what problem it faces? Suppose I have created one time object named as t, okay, and I have initialized hour to 9 and minutes to 36 and second to 30. Okay, and what if I pass to this increment the time object t, this t, with 9, 36 and 30, and the seconds I need to add is 122. So 122 will be passed here. Okay, now time dot second was 30 plus 122. 30 plus 122 is 152, and 152 is greater than equal to 60, and you are just subtracting 60, adding time into a minute. In a minute you are adding 1, then you are checking that obviously the minute will not go beyond 60, so this code, it will not be true. Then you are printing the time object with print time. This I am passing this object to this print method, and it will print hour, minutes and seconds. Okay, let me see what happens if you run this code. It will give you 9, 37, 92. Actually we should not have here 92. Why? See here, you have passed 122, and 122 was passed here. Previously seconds was 30, 30 plus 120 is 152. Then suddenly you have checked that it is greater than or equal to 60. Yes, greater than or equal to 60. Yes, then you have subtracted 60. So 152 minus 60 is 92. So seconds now have 92. 1 is added to minutes. That's why it becomes 37. See, it becomes 37, and seconds are still 92, which is incorrect. So the first thing that comes to your mind is we need to use for any loop, while loop here, right? But in your exercise, as an exercise, write a correct version of increment that doesn't contain any loops. So I have a solution here. So as an exercise, correct version of increment that doesn't contain any loop. So this is the correct version of your increment. Just see what he is doing. Time dot second, whatever the second that you are passing, that time object and a seconds will be passed here. Then 122 will be passed here. Now it becomes 152. Now add minutes and remaining seconds. See, div mode. You are using mode function here. So what it will display? 152 comma 60. 152 comma 60 will be how much? How much it will return? 32 actually. Remainder will be 32 and quotient will be 2. Quotient will be 2. Remainder will be 32 and quotient will be 2. First it will return quotient. So that's why we are having minutes. In minutes, the quotient value is 2. So minutes will be, the minutes that we need to add is 2, right? So add minutes value will be 2. So that's why the time dot minutes is equal to time dot minutes plus is equal to add minutes. So then the seconds will be, remaining seconds will be 32. So remaining seconds will be allocated to seconds, right? Seconds. The same thing we are following for minutes. Okay. Now if I just replace this method with the previous one, new method, entirely new method. Okay. So maybe it will show that space error. Okay. No. See here, 9:38:32. 9:38:32. Actually, you have passed 9:36:30 and 122 seconds. So 2 minutes must and should be added because the seconds 122 you have passed. Previously seconds was 30. Then 30 plus 122, 152. In that you need to deduct 2 minutes and add into minutes. You need to deduct 120 seconds and add into minutes, that is 2. So it becomes 38 and remaining seconds are 32. So it will be 9:38:32. 9:38:32. This is the correct version of your increment method. Understood? Now proceeding further, as an exercise, write the pure function of increment that takes and returns a new time object rather than modifying the parameter. So what you need to do is, you need not to have any modifier functions, you should have a pure function. So I have the code. If you want, you can take the screenshot. See, pure function here. It creates a new time object. Rest of the things are same. And you are just returning new time object that you have created in the beginning. Okay. So the last slide, prototyping versus planning. So the development method that we have followed here is prototype and patch. Prototype and patch. What we have done, first we have written an incorrect version of increment. Then when we were testing during our program, we got that it is crossing base 60. So we need to modify our function. So what you have done is, see, for each function we wrote a prototype that performed a basic calculation. The same thing you need to follow in while you are doing programming, basic calculations. Then you need to check with different types of inputs. Then you need to rectify it. It will generate an error. Then you need to rectify it. Then tested it, patching the errors along the way. The same procedure you have followed. Instead of that, you could have gone for a different approach, a sophisticated one, a high level approach. In that, what is actually high level approach? In this, the high level approach the author is following is the entire adding of the seconds will be converted into integers. See, if we convert these, this time, that is 9 hours 36 minutes and 30 seconds into seconds, then how many seconds you will get? See, 9 into 60 into 60. So these are the seconds for 9 hour plus 36, okay, 36 plus 36 into 60. Sorry, here we are getting wrong answer. So what you need to get is actually 9 into 36, not 36, 60 into 60. So this is your 32,400. Then 36 minutes means 36 into 60. So 2160 plus 32,400 plus seconds were 30. So these are the total seconds for this 9 hour 36 minutes and 30 seconds. These are the 34,590 seconds for this time. Okay, for this time. If we take this as an integer value, then we have added 122 seconds to it. Now we have converted time into integer, then we have added 122 to it. You will get 34,712. Then you need to convert this 34,712 into time. Convert it into time. Convert it into time. It will be very difficult, right? So we have a function here. See how the author has done it. See, time to int first. That's why minutes is equal to time dot hour into 60, time dot hours into 60 plus time dot minutes. Okay, minutes, whatever the minutes that you have. Okay, now we'll take our value here. 9 into 60. 9 into 60 will be 9 into 60 will be 540. Okay, 540 plus the minutes. What were the minutes? Minutes were 36. Okay, so 36 plus 36. Okay, now minutes into 60. Minutes into 60. Okay, minutes. These were the minutes into 60. So these were your seconds for hour and minute plus seconds, that were 32, right? 30, sorry, 12, 30. Now 34,590, the same value that you have got here, 34,590. So what you need to do is, here the sophisticated approach, you need to convert the entire time into integer. Okay, then returns the seconds. Then whatever the increment value that you have, you need to use that increment function, add time functions. Here add time function, it will take two time objects, then it will add the time 1, convert the time 1 into integer, time 2 into integer, or add all the seconds and store into seconds. Then what you're doing is, these seconds you are passing as an argument to int to time. You need to convert this 34,592 again time. At that time you are using, see, this function. What you are doing, div mode seconds divide 60, then quotient will be passed to minutes and remainder will be passed to time dot second. Minutes is a variable now, and this time dot second is an attribute of a function, attribute of a class called time. Okay, now so minutes will have a value, that is quotient. Okay, so after that again you need to perform div mode operation on minutes, then it will return hours and minutes, remainder will be minutes, then return time. Okay, return time. So let me use these three functions in my code. Okay, same output. See what output that you have got for this code, 11, 9, 38, 32, right? Same output you will get using these functions. See here, I will take this time to int. Okay, not same output actually, we have different values. So this one, then you need to have int to time, okay. After that, adding to times. Okay, adding to times. So what I will do is, instead of this increment, what I will do is, I will take this time object as a t1, okay. Then another time object I will create where I'm just adding 22 seconds, okay. 122 seconds. Here nothing, 0, here nothing, 0, okay. So here it is t2, here t1, okay. Now I am calling add time, add underscore time with t1 comma t2, t1 comma t2. Then print, it is returning, right? It is returning time int into time seconds, then int into time, then it will return a time object, So that's why here, before I call this add, I need to create a time object. Time is equal to time object, then I need to store under this time object, then I need to print it. See, you are getting the same output. What I have done already here, see, I have created one time object, another time object where hours and minutes are 00 and second is 122, and I have passed this time one t1 and t2 to add time methods, and it has converted the first time t1 into integer and second time t2 into integers, then added it, stored into seconds, then these seconds were converted into int into time, using this method, and it is returning a new time object. So that's why I need to create a time object first, then I need to store this time object into this variable, then I need to print it, same values that you are getting. So this chapter ends here. For this chapter you have a exercise 16.1. This is the question for that, okay. The solution is on your screen, okay, on your screen. Take a screenshot, pause it and take a screenshot. Okay, read it thoroughly and practice it. So this classes and functions chapter ends here. In next video we are going to study classes and methods. Up to then, stay home, stay safe.